Bea Arthur, born Bernice Frankel on May 13, 1922, in New York City, was an acclaimed American actress, comedian, and singer whose distinctive voice, commanding presence, and razor-sharp comic timing made her one of television's most recognizable and beloved stars. She became especially famous for her work on two landmark sitcoms, Maude and The Golden Girls, but her career extended far beyond television, encompassing theater, film, and music over several decades. Early life and background. Bea Arthur was the daughter of Rebecca and Philip Frankel, a Jewish family of immigrant background. She grew up primarily in Cambridge, Maryland, where her family operated a clothing store, though she would later become known for portraying strong, independent, and outspoken women. Arthur's early life was shaped by a more conventional small-town upbringing. She attended Linden Hall School for Girls in Pennsylvania and later studied at Blackstone College for Girls in Virginia, although she did not complete a traditional academic path before turning toward other pursuits. During World War II, Arthur joined the United States Marine Corps Women's Reserve, serving as one of the early female members of the Marines. This period has often been noted as evidence of the determination and toughness that would later become central to her public image. After the war, she pursued acting more seriously, studying drama at the New School's Dramatic Workshop in New York, where she trained under influential teachers and developed the disciplined stagecraft that would define her performances. Stage career and rise in theater. Arthur began her professional acting career in theater, where her unusual presence set her apart. Tall, deep-voiced, and unapologetically direct, she did not fit the conventional mold of glamorous female stars of the era. Instead, she cultivated a style that was intelligent, dry, and deeply character-driven. Her early stage work included appearances in off-Broadway and regional productions, where she gradually built a reputation as a formidable performer. Her major breakthrough came in 1964 when she was cast as Yent the Matchmaker in the original Broadway production of Fiddler on the Roof. The role showcased her gift for both comedy and character work and brought her substantial recognition. Her greatest Broadway triumph came with Mum, the musical based on Patrick Dennis's novel Auntie-Mum. Arthur originated the role of Vera Charles, Mame's sardonic, hard-drinking best friend. Her performance was widely praised for its wit and personality, and she won the Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical in 1966. The role became one of the defining achievements of her theatrical career and demonstrated her ability to steal scenes through timing and attitude rather than conventional star glamour. She later reprised the role of Vera Charles in various productions and remained strongly associated with it throughout her career. Television breakthrough. Maude. Bea Arthur's true household name fame came through television. In the early 1970s, she was cast as Maude Findlay, a cousin of Edith Bunker, on the groundbreaking sitcom All in the Family, created by Norman Lear. Maude was conceived as a foil to Archie Bunker, liberal, outspoken, politically engaged, and fiercely opinionated. The character proved so popular that she was given her own spin-off series, Maude, which premiered in 1972. The show became one of the most important sitcoms of its era. Arthur's Maude was a middle-aged woman who dealt with issues that television rarely explored so directly at the time, including women's rights, menopause, alcoholism, mental health, marital difficulties, and abortion. Arthur's performance anchored the series. She gave Maude a combination of brash confidence, vulnerability, self-righteousness, and humanity that made the character compelling rather than simply caricatured. One of the show's most famous and controversial storylines involved Maude's decision to have an abortion, a bold subject for network television in the early 1970s. For her work on Maude, Arthur won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series in 1977. The series ran until 1978 and remains a landmark in socially conscious television comedy. The Golden Girls and international fame. After Maude, Arthur continued working in television and theater, but her second great wave of fame arrived in the mid-1980s. In 1985, she was cast as Dorothy Zbornak in the NBC sitcom The Golden Girls, alongside Betty White, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty. The show centered on four older women sharing a home in Miami, Florida. Arthur's Dorothy was the sardonic, intelligent, often exasperated member of the group, frequently delivering deadpan lines and dry put-downs that became iconic. Her chemistry with the cast was central to the show's enormous success. The Golden Girls was revolutionary in its own way. It focused on older women as complex, funny, romantic, and independent people at a time when television often sidelined such characters. The series tackled issues such as aging, friendship, sexuality, illness, grief, family conflict, same-sex relationships, and social prejudice, all while remaining warm and broadly comedic. Arthur's portrayal of Dorothy earned her another Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, this time in 1988. She became deeply identified with the role, and for many viewers Dorothy's Bornak remains her signature character. The show ran from 1985 to 1992 and became a classic of American television. After it ended, Arthur chose not to continue with the follow-up series The Golden Palace, although some of her co-stars did. Film and other work. Although television and theater defined her legacy, Arthur also appeared in films. One of her better-known film roles was in Lovers and Other Strangers, 1970, and she later appeared in Mom 1974, the film version of the musical in which Lucille Ball played the title character. Arthur reprised her role as Vera Charles, further cementing her association with the part. She also became memorable to many younger viewers for her guest appearance in the Star Wars Holiday Special, 1978, in which she performed a musical number as Akmina, the cantina owner. Though the special itself became notorious, Arthur's appearance gained cult appreciation over time. In addition to acting, she performed in one-woman shows and cabaret acts, especially later in life. These stage performances allowed her to display her wit, storytelling ability, and singing voice in a more personal format. She performed acclaimed solo shows such as And Then There's Bea, which earned positive reviews and demonstrated her continued appeal long after her peak television years. Personal life. Bea Arthur was married twice. Her first marriage was to Robert Allen Arthur in 1947. The marriage ended in divorce, but she retained a modified version of his surname as her professional name, changing Arthur to Arthur. She later married Gene Saks, an actor, director, and producer, in 1950. Their marriage lasted nearly 3 decades before ending in divorce in 1978. Together they had 2 sons, Matthew and Daniel, and Saks also had a son from a previous marriage whom Arthur helped raise. Arthur was often perceived as tough, intimidating, or reserved because of the sharply defined characters she played in her public demeanor. However, many colleagues and friends described her as deeply professional, loyal, generous, and more sensitive than her public image suggested. She valued privacy and was not always comfortable with celebrity culture, advocacy and philanthropy. In later years, Bea Arthur became a significant supporter of causes relating to vulnerable populations, particularly homeless LGBTQ youth. This aspect of her legacy gained wider attention after her death, when it became known that she had left a substantial bequest to support services for homeless young people. Her donation benefited the Ollie Forney Center in New York, an organization dedicated to helping homeless LGBTQ youth. This act of philanthropy reflected a compassionate dimension of Arthur's life that many admired. It also linked her legacy to enduring social issues and gave added meaning to her role as an icon to LGBTQ audiences, many of whom had long cherished her work. Awards and honors. Over the course of her career, Bea Arthur received numerous honors, including Tony Award for Mom 1966, Emmy Award for Maude, 1977, Emmy Award for The Golden Girls, 1988. She was also nominated for multiple other awards throughout her career and remained a respected figure in entertainment circles for her stage and television work alike. Later years and death. In her later years, Arthur continued to perform on stage and make occasional television appearances. She remained admired by several generations of audiences, particularly as the Golden Girls found new life in reruns and syndication. Bea Arthur died of cancer on April 25, 2009, at her home in Los Angeles, California, just weeks before her 87th birthday. Her death prompted widespread tributes from fans, co-stars, critics, and fellow performers. She was remembered not only for her singular talent but for the way she changed television by portraying mature women as strong, complicated, and hilariously human. Legacy. Bea Arthur's legacy is immense. She was one of the rare performers to leave a lasting mark on both Broadway and television, and she helped redefine what kinds of women could occupy the center of a comedy. Her characters were not designed to be decorative or submissive. They were outspoken, intelligent, flawed, and formidable. As Maude, she brought feminist and political debates into American living rooms. As Dorothy Zbornak, she gave voice to wit, skepticism, and emotional depth within one of television's most beloved ensemble comedies. On stage, she proved that charisma could come from intelligence, timing, and originality rather than conventional beauty. Today, Bea Arthur is remembered as a pioneering actress whose performances continue to resonate. Her work remains influential not only because it was funny, but because it gave visibility and dignity to characters, especially older women, who had too often been underestimated.